Beautiful Tuesday evening. I am here with Mr. Johnny Five. Johnny, how are you, sir?
Salud. Doing good, doing good.
Awesome possum. And here with Mr. Wheezy as always, who helps us produce and makes us never do the work. Wheezy, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Trying to figure some shit out real quick.
All right, man. Welcome on board. Everybody, if you are not familiar, this is Drinks and Toys. We welcome you back where you are drinking anything from we don't know to maybe a cup of iced tea or maybe even a Diet Coke. We don't care. We're here to have a good time, talk about toys, and kind of like get through those play fields and just have a great time. We love going live. We love bantering with you guys, having a great time, talking about whatever, anything and everything that should come along. And it's always good. We just have a great time, period. So welcome back if you're not on here. Welcome back if you are on here. And if you have not joined yet, we don't see you yet, but when you get on board, we welcome you and we enjoy having you on board. So we don't really have a topic tonight. We decided tonight we were just going to go rogue, see what happens, see what the crowd brings our way. I think
we have a topic, but we we discuss for 5 minutes and then we veer off. And then
boppity boopity. One of the things I do want to discuss tonight, and it's kind of silly, but all right. I'm going to talk about Transformers 1. This came out probably, I don't even know, Johnny, 6 months ago at least?
Is Mark Wahlberg?
It's longer than that, dude.
Is it? Oh, yeah. God. All right. So how about I streamed it maybe 6 months ago? Nicole, how you doing, girl? Welcome back. So maybe 6 months ago, I streamed Transformers 1, and I was with my stepson. We're watching it. I passed out the first time. I was like, I'm done with this. Put him to sleep for different reasons, but it was not as good as I thought it was going to be. So then I tried again. Nobody around. Me watching. Typical during the week. I'm by myself in the house. It's all quiet except for cats and turtles. I watched it. Nope. Same spot. About 40 minutes in, I killed it. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not getting into it. Last night, I sit down. I'm like, I haven't had anything to drink. I'm stone-ass sober. Let me sit here and see if I can watch this show. I get 40 minutes in. I'm like, oh, nope, watch the rest of it. Wake up. So stayed up, started watching it. About 20 minutes after that point, it got really good. To the point where I always have a great time except we all talk about Mega Man. All right, Gustavo, you know what? I love you, Gus, but go somewhere else. So I got into the next part of the movie and I was like, this is awesome. And not because of Optimus or Praxis, whatever the hell they call him. But
Orion Pax.
Thank you. You heard him, Snack Packus. So anybody
Snack Packs.
So the other characters were so much doper. And the best part for me was where they started doing like backstories where you saw Starscream and you saw the Guardians of Iacon, and then you saw like Shockwave and Soundwave, and whoever scripted Bumblebee was absolutely hilarious. He was perfect.
Badass John.
Oh my God, it was so funny. And I'm watching the movie and all the Seekers and everything. I'm like, that's sick. And you can tell, like, not Megatron at the time, but he was like getting ready to get me like, motherfucker, I am Megatron. You better shut up. They didn't get there yet. And he eventually just like comes around and like beats the hell out of Starscream, and pretty much dominates and becomes like king of the Iacon Guardians there. And I thought it was awesome because truthfully, from that point on, no matter what anybody says in my head, that was just the coming of Megatron. The rest of the movie was, how does Megatron come to power? It had nothing to do with Optimus. We've heard about Optimus in 1,000 different Transformers movies and how he became a Prime and blah, blah, blah. I like Optimus, but come on, man. We glorify him so much in everything else, and we never give credit where credit is due to Megatron. And when Megatron got that bit of stardom in the movie, and you got to see where he came from, and you got to see like what kind of power he was bringing forward and where his mentality was, it was like, oh shit. I started fanboying. I'm watching. I'm like, I ain't even a Megatron fan. Y'all see this? Talking to my cats. I'm like, you see this? And the cats are like, nah, man, we eating and pooping and sleeping. But like, I'm losing my shit over Megatron. It was such a good job, man. So my hat's off to the creators, the writers, whoever. They did a great job. The Megatron series or his story was awesome in the movie, to the point where I almost could have seen a separate movie about Megatron because of how well they did it. Stop me if I'm wrong. Johnny, you're up because you just wiped your mouth and it means you got something to say.
No. I just needed to wipe my mouth. That's all. What? You know, what's really interesting is with that, yeah, they did a great job as far as even Tammy, who's, you know, she was kind of, we went to the theaters to watch '86 movie when that anniversary version came out, and they did a theater run, and she was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. But this year, she loved how it actually explained the two of them, the backstory, how Megatron became a villain, all, you know. So for her, she actually liked that because it kind of broke it down and explained it to her. So she was like, okay, now I kind of get it now, like their rivalry and all this, you know. But I think what would have been really interesting is if they kind of took. I really like the War for Cybertron line. How, you know, Megatron came from the Gladiator, like that Gladiator pit, you know, and rose up from there and kind of built his, you know, built the Decepticons from that, like led a rebellion.
So I don't mean to cut you off, but from the movie or from the game?
No, it's from
the show, I should say.
Yeah, that Netflix show.
Yeah, that was a great show, by the way.
Yeah, it came out like around COVID.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah, so I thought that would have been really cool if they just did a play off of that, you know, and how the two of them, you know, during that time when when Megatron and Optimus kind of became buddies and then kind of drifted apart, you know, they would have been cool to see kind of that thing kind of develop more into that sort of story. But they did great with the writing and, you know, and the actual movie itself. I liked it. But again, I didn't have high expectations because from the marketing, from everything else, it really seemed like it was going to be one of those kid movies. It was going to be like, you know.
So that was a little bit of my worry. And yes, a lot of it was geared towards children to be lighthearted and like kind of like bring them in. There was some language, but I almost think it's that language of we want kids to think they're cool. So they're watching it. And it's like, ooh, my show had the word hell in it and they're excited. Like I can tell you right now, if Damien, 10 years old, cared about Transformers and heard them be like, oh, what the hell? He'd be like, oh, this is a great movie. Because they're kids. They think everything, like there's a curse word, it's cool. But being growing up with Transformers, and I don't want to say a historian because I'm not, but look, man, I grew up when that shit first hit the shelves. So growing up and then watching this movie, actually watching it, not the 2 times before I fell asleep, but actually watching it and getting through it the 3rd time, you're just like, damn, they did a good job, man. Yeah, there you go. 3rd time. There you go. I love you, baby. I love you with all my heart. Yes, 3rd time's a charm.
Have you seen her recently?
Really?
I'm just curious.
It's a podcast, not my love cast.
Yeah, so, and, you know, and to that point, it's really great because, I mean, I'm a G1 fan. That's how I got introduced into Transformers. As a kid, I was watching cartoon, you know, got the toys, grew up with that. But let's be honest, if you look back now, and there's a lot of people going to be pissed off about this, but honestly, that original storyline, if you try to do it now, like let's say if you try to redo G1 with that exact storyline, that exact background, it's not going to really work out as well. You know what I mean? How they crash land on Earth and, you know, that whole shit.
So, because the stories were horrible.
Gus, hold on 1 second. Gus, I'm going to get back to you.
For that time, they were great.
No, the stories were horrible.
Now, like,
hold on. Johnny was touching on Johnny, I'm sorry. Re-say what you said before you got interrupted about Transformers.
About how, like, if you try to redo G1 now?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think if you try to redo a modern telling of that, it's really not going to hold up as well. You know, a lot of the stuff really, it really dated itself, you know.
So I think
it's like how this has a different spin on it, but it still keeps that, you know, that G1 vibe.
I agree. So it's very relevant. So like G1 was relevant to the times. So if you came out with something now that was supposed to be G1, people are going to be like, well, I don't know what that is, or I don't know what this is, or I don't know what this is, because it's very at the time. So Soundwave is cassette recorder. So if they turn around and be like, "Oh, Soundwave did this, something eject," they're gonna be like, "What is he? What's going on? What's he ejecting? What's going on out of? Like, what is that coming out of him? What's transforming?" Kids don't get it. It's not relevant to their time. So, excuse me, I get that. So they would have to doctor it up, in which case you start losing some of the original fans because the adaptation might be because you got to figure technology, right? Transformers are based on technology. So much has changed between 84 and now that anybody who collected back then would be like, what the hell? What do you mean they're an iPad? And so a kid has to be like, oh, this iPad used to be, Soundwave or something. Just making up the character. Well, not making it up, but you know what I mean, associating. But associating that character. And so now, like, we're 2025, and they're like, well, what the hell is a cassette player? And so, like, the show would lose that leverage.
Yeah, well, look at the Bayverse movies.
What? I'm sorry?
Yeah, the fucking Bayverse movies.
Does your hoodie really block your hearing that much?
It actually, well, only to you. So, Johnny,
okay.
No. So, yeah, so I get you 100%, man. So the Bayverse movies were so far off screen where it was like, if not for the action and the craziness, you wouldn't actually know what the hell they were talking. As stupid as that sounds, you wouldn't actually know what they're talking about. Right? So they clouded
one extreme to another because they went so far off, that really it started a whole new group of fans because the a lot of the G1s were kind of like G1 fans were kind of like, oh fuck no, this isn't Optimus Prime, this isn't Mega, so on. But let's be real, you can't do a 2025 Transformers movie, let's say live action movie, and have it be successful as Megatron turning into a gun. It's just not going to work these days. There's so much bullshit that they're going to have to go around.
No, you're 100%. So what do we got here? Yeah, speaking of why do you think G.I. Joe movies possible was? So Wheezy, you just said
no, because their stories sucked.
Well, you're not wrong.
I mean, if we're talking about the live action ones, right? I'm assuming that's what we're talking about because that's only.
Gus, you talking about live action? I assume you are.
Well, he's talking about the live action G.I. Joe movies.
Yeah, the stories were horrible. They fucking sucked. Wasn't Channing Tatum in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Magic Mike was.
Don't tell Rubber Girl that.
It's like until he became Gambit, who cares, right? Like Channing Tatum.
They call it Magic G.I. Joe.
But yeah, those stories, like they were just not good stories. I feel if they took actual stories from like the original cartoon and then reworked them to modern times, you would have had a much better idea. But they made a G.I. Joe movie and tried to dumb it down for just anybody to be able to watch, and it ruined the whole outcome of it.
I think they focused more on the action aspect of it than the story. My opinion. So how much unbelievable, right? So almost Fast and Furious style action, right? Where it's like, you have a car here and you have a car here. They're going to go next to each other and somebody's going to be able to like jump through them. Like shit like that. I think that G.I. Joe spent more time doing that than creating a good story that people would be like, oh crap, that's G.I. Joe. I remember that. I can identify with that. That would have captured a larger fan base. Instead, they went too modern, where the old schoolers were like, I'm out. I don't want any part of that.
Well, here's it's G.I. Joe. You got to have the action, the explosion, the fast pace, because if you don't, it's going to be fucking boring. All right, look at Star Wars when they got all the fucking political, talking about like the Senate and all that bullshit. A lot of people were like, what the fuck is this? All right.
See,
you lost me. Sorry.
But see, with G.I. Joe, right? Yeah, you expect action because they're military. They're going to war against Cobra, right? You obviously expect it, but you still need a story.
No, absolutely.
Right.
I agree with that.
So, like I said, like that's one thing I think when you have like Marvel has a tendency to do it where they take from the comics, they put modern twists and they change things for the movies, but they have like kind of a guideline they can at least follow of a successful story since the 60s of options. You have that with G.I. Joe, but they did not. They completely ignored the fact that there was ever a G.I. Joe before they did those movies. Completely ignored it. Could have been two different things. They just happened to call them Joes and Cobra. Like it could have been a completely different franchise.
Weird backstory for Destro and Cobra, like how they try to make like an origin story and all that. It was really, I don't know. That was really off too. How they kind of try to build that up.
I much prefer Fast and Furious over G.I. Joe movies.
So
I prefer neither.
Nicole, are you talking about animated G.I. Joe? I'm assuming she's going to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah. There was the animated movie.
So the movie was dope, and I'm sorry. The best part of that movie is two things, and I think we talked about this before. One was the Enforcer, the Cobra La Enforcer. He had these badass metal wings. He almost looked like Angel from X-Men, but it was G.I. Joe. Why shaking your head?
Because you have a very bad movie take right now.
Why? Am I not wrong?
That movie was dope. There was nothing.
The movie was good, but the characters that were dope.
Sure, okay.
The movie was good, but the Enforcer had these badass metal wings, and then of course you also had Globulus was neat, but you had the best part was like Cobra Commander when he got turned into the snake. They made the figure. You know, I was once a man. Nobody.
Doesn't make it good.
This is going on the blooper reel, I can tell. This is going to be a short at some point.
So bad.
He's
horrible. I mean, yes, I guess some people like bad movies.
I'm only doing this for the shorts. I'm sorry. And then he got beat to hell with the best joke. Man, bro, he was a snake. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Gus. I'm sorry, man. You're talking about hold on, I gotta share this.
About the cartoon.
Gus, you're talking about the Enforcer got beat to hell by the Sergeant Slaughter. Yes, dude, you're absolutely right. It was kind of cool. That was one of the best parts of the movie for sure, is where Enforcer got beat the shit up. Because when Enforcer first came out, we were all like, oh shit, nobody's able to beat this guy up. He beat the hell out of everybody. I don't think Roadblock was there though. And then
anyways.
No. Then Slaughter took out Enforcer, which was kind of dope. But still, man,
that movie was so bad. I don't even remember this happening.
Oh my god, you don't like the movie?
No,
it's a good movie. There are great scenes.
If you want to say it's a good movie,
I say good with quotations.
Is it? If you want to try to make the argument that it's a good movie but a bad G.I. Joe movie,
oh,
maybe.
Oh.
Oh shit! Interesting.
Hold on. All right, so
if you called it anything else but G.I. Joe, it would have made a different type of movie. People would have probably been able to enjoy it a little more. But when you're expecting G.I. Joe and you didn't get that.
All right. Well, so first things first, Nicole, we're about 20 minutes from answering your question, so give us a minute. So hold on a minute. Let's backtrack. So, as a movie, God damn it, Chris. As a movie, it was a good movie.
Right.
I don't know why I'm finger quoting it, but it's
not a good movie.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% Charlie Brown in it. I can appreciate some of the aspects they threw into the movie. I loved Cobra La and how they interrupted the simplicity of the series. Does that make sense? That's a little deep.
Okay.
Cobra La 100% interrupted the simplicity of the G.I. Joe Cobra series and interrupted and introduced a lot of new characters and kind of like took down some of those characters that we thought were almost like holier than thou. And Cobra La came in and said, nah, we're good. We got these people. We're stronger than them. Oh, borderline Dragon Ball.
You know what? What's interesting is, okay, with the G.I. Joe movie, you know, they were kind of it was kind of being produced around the same time Transformers movie was, and Transformers movie came out and they killed off Optimus Prime and a bunch of other G1 characters.
Yeah,
the backlash was horrible from that. Hasbro was like, oh, wait a minute, because originally they were going to kill off. They're going to do the same thing with G.I. Joe. They were going to kill off some characters, introduce new characters, because the whole thing was the giant advertisement for their toy line. Both movies. That's all they were. So once they saw that, they had to change things up, So
but when did it come out?
It came out after Transformers.
When the hell did Transformers come out?
86.
Okay. Interesting. So I definitely thought we were still talking about the live action.
No, not at all.
That's why I'm like, you talking about it's a good movie. What the fuck is wrong with you?
No. When he's saying a good movie, he's referring to the anime.
Gotcha. Completely okay. Now I'm with you then. That was decent. I did enjoy it. I thought that's why I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not a good movie.
So honestly, I was looking at you like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, so I'm like, I thought we were talking about the live action still.
I thought I'm sitting here justifying the animated. I'm like,
that's what I'm like. I'm sitting here like, I don't remember Sergeant Slaughter being in the fucking live action movie.
How drunk are the both of you right now?
Are you fucking serious right now? Are we talking about the one with Marlon Wayans?
That's the live action one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that White Chicks?
All right, yeah. So the animated, no, I did enjoy the animated one. Absolutely. Okay.
So in any case, yeah. So Gustavo, and yeah, beat the hell. Yeah, man. Answer all your questions. Yes. Nicole, I was never into G.I. Joe. That's a shame. We understand how you're sheltered. Here we go. I was more into X-Men. I love the animated series. Yeah, we agree. So X-Men 97, the re-release of the show, I binge watched it with Rebel Girl, and that shit was phenomenal. They did a great job picking up where the series left off.
I think she was talking about the OG X-Men from the 90s.
Well, I'm sure she is. I'm just talking about I'm interjecting and saying how X-Men 97 was great. Blue Kitty. Yeah, that's adorable. It's okay. All right. But the X-Men 97 series that picks up after the original X-Men or animated X-Men, what was it called? Uncanny X-Men? Whatever it was called.
No, it was called X-Men.
X-Men was a great show, and the revamp, the X-Men 97, again, I watched it with Rebel Girl. We binge watched it. It was phenomenal. And I'm dying to see how much further they take it, because they answered so many questions we had as fans and kids and everything back in the day when we watched the series, and they expanded upon it, and it was phenomenal. I'm a huge fan to the point where I even thought about buying HasLab Sentinel because I wanted X-Men 97 figures to go on it because it was so damn cool to have a display or whatever, but I never opened anything, so who am I kidding? But I was going to take a box and stack a bunch of other boxes on top of it.
You guys get it.
Yeah, from a box standpoint, it was fine. But super dope series. So Nicole, yes, I'm with you, girl. I'm into that too. The animated series was great, and the revamps have been awesome also.
I'm actually curious to see what they're going to do here after Wolverine has all his animanium removed. He turns into feral Wolverine. That's going to be interesting.
So when Wolverine in the comics lost his adamantium, and there's I forget which one it is. I used to collect them all, but way back. And he lost all his adamantium to Magneto. And I remember so many comics after he doesn't want to put out his claws. He's resisting as much as he can. And he finally goes to fight somebody. And you see he puts up his hands like this, and he doesn't do anything. And then the next scene, he doesn't have a choice. And his claws, he goes, whoosh, and his claws come out, and it's just blood, and they're bone. And he screams in the comment, he goes, my claws, he goes, they came out, and they hurt, because he doesn't have the healing factor anymore. In the comic, for some reason. And he just kneels down, and he's got his hands up like this, and it's just blood streaming down.
I don't remember that.
Because he should technically get a better healing factor with the
His
animating
healing
out of
factor
him.
went fucking insane, and that's when
He
turned
says
into
his
Incredible
bones-
Wolverine.
Well, this is in the comic. I don't know about anything else, but he says they're bone and they hurt. And I remember the comic,
Yeah,
and
it
he's
was the
blood
comic.
streaming down his hands. What?
That was the comic. Like his like mutation went wild. Like his face even changed. Like he lost his fucking nose. He was weird looking. He looked very savage.
I have to look up and see which comic it was that I used to have, but I remember the cover of the comic was he was in his brown jacket, right? His brown jacket with the white fluff or whatever for the cold.
But
And he's standing there like this, of course, like Wolverine, and there's no claws. And then when you open up the comic, you read like 3 pages in, he makes his claws come out, and he's just like dripping in blood, and he just says how they're bone and they hurt.
But like, I never understood why he went so savage, right? Because before he was fine, then he had the animanium put into him, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't go all savage before the animanium, so why did he go savage and his powers go crazy afterwards? Like it never made sense, like why that was a thing.
I think the running theory was that he was eventually going to, because as you know, like it's this whole thing as they get older, their mutations like keep adapting and changing and expanding, and eventually that was his path. Eventually, then the animantium kind of stopped that. But then, of course, once it got removed, I think everything just kind of leaped forward.
Okay.
I kind of just think that was Logan, right? So Logan was 3 sheets of crazy. And then so the animanium, if anything, brought him back in line, but just enhanced his survival skill, if that makes sense, I guess. Like he was a little more level, but he still had more of the survival instinct, where when he didn't have that, it was just survival. He was just very raw and very crazy. And when he got the animanium, it almost like leveled him out, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, makes sense.
What do we got here? Anybody in the chat? Cool story.
So did you guys read the Wolverine Origins comic?
I have the original Wolverine comic from way back when, where he was like, the first comic was he was Weapon X.
No, I'm talking about with the Origins where they go him as a child.
I did not read that. Mm-hmm.
So they touched on it in the movie that came out, the Wolverine Origins movie, but they completely like screwed up from what the comic was. You should definitely read that comic. That comic's insane. Showing where he came from, how he got his powers, the story behind it, his father, everything. It's a good fucking read.
So
the cover of it's like his hand with like the bone claws dripping blood.
That's dope.
But it's like they even go over like the first time his claws come out as a kid and everything. It's a good read.
So was Wolverine? So let's kind of hash this out. So was Wolverine always a mutant? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's a mixture of 2 mutants.
Continue.
So in Origins, they explain the way they did it was that his mother has a mutant ability, but it's not prominent in her like her father has it. Her father has claws. And then he gets the healing factor from his father. 2 different mutants formed, and now you have Wolverine doing his thing.
So you said his mother has claws and his father had the mutant healing?
No, his mother's father, so his grandfather on his mom's side has claws. Okay. His mom didn't show any powers, but it was there, like a skip the generation type of thing.
So how do you explain Lady Deathstrike?
I couldn't tell you. I don't really know her origin. I'm not familiar with her.
So I almost feel like she was a character created just because of Wolverine.
Probably. There's a lot of characters like that, aren't there?
Yeah, since we're talking about it. It's supposed to be rando, right? Sorry, Johnny, go ahead.
They experimented with like Wolverine's DNA and shit. They tried to create other mutants like him.
They're trying to clone him, right?
Yeah.
All right, Nicole, I'm just going to acknowledge everything. Yes, he was amazing. Yes, we know you're talking about 2017. Huzzah. Cool story. James Howlett.
Yeah, that's his
First of
original
all,
name.
That sounds like the guy who used to fix my car.
So what it was is that he's like a rich kid, right? His parents are loaded.
Who? Cool Story Bro, 1988?
No.
Yeah,
Wolverine.
Why not?
Logan. So the idea was that the whole story was that his parents are rich, but his dad isn't really his dad. He didn't know that. His dad is the groundskeeper.
Oh, so it's like never mind, go ahead.
The groundskeeper has another son who they call Dog, who turns into wind up being Sabretooth because they're half brothers. And then the whole thing of how it comes out with his powers and people getting killed, like it's really a crazy fucking book, bro.
So
they
like,
also explain why they explain why he's got an infatuation with Jean Grey.
Is there a graphic novel for this?
Yeah, it's a graphic novel.
So that's awesome. So I love graphic novels because I love comics, but if you can take a comic series and put it into a graphic novel so I can read it in its entirety and not have to like kind of guess where I'm at, that's awesome. So like Last Ronin.
I will find it. I have it here somewhere. Next time I see you, I'll find it before I see you, and you can bring it so you can read it.
I'll totally read it, man. Because like,
March 8th.
Oh, we'll get to that. We will get to that. Joey, you're not on here, but we want you on here, man. We'll talk about you in a minute. We'll plug you. But giggity. So the Last Ronin graphic novel, best thing I've ever fucking read. Next to the Killing Joke, awesome graphic novel. I will tell you that most graphic novels have been as good or better than reading all the comics in their separate issues. They've done a great job. So, Chris, I'd love to read that, man. And then I'd love to read Nightfall again in the graphic novel series. Not to trail off about comics, but the graphic novels are awesome. So I'd like to read that if only to kind of understand more about Wolverine, because between him and Gambit, two of my all-time favorite characters ever in the X-Men universe, by far. Same. I love Gambit. I love Gambit in the Externals. Different series he had. His 4-part miniseries for comics was awesome. They're a little darker and a little more like story-driven, so people weren't really tied into it. It was a lot of action. But I really enjoyed his short miniseries and what he brought to the table. They were freaking awesome, and I lost all those first prints. March 8th. Alex, man. For sure. Joey, I wish you were on, man. We're trying to plug for you, but yes, March 8th. If you're not there, you're a circle. I don't want to say square. Joey's having a show at the Hernando Fairgrounds. Guys, if you have not signed up to be a vendor, you're missing out. And on the flip side, please, please, please go be a patron, because I'm telling you, last time I went, it was person to person. You couldn't get in there. There was shit everywhere. Vendors for freaking days, snow cones, food, whatever you want. Please go. It's going to be a dope-ass show. You're missing out if you are not there. This is Nicole. I want to get my hands on Nightcrawler. Meow. Walking Dead graphic novels. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Good job, Nicole. So, now we're not not acknowledging, but you're talking about The Walking Dead, and I don't care about it. Maybe somebody else does.
Is that still a thing?
I don't know. Gus. Are you not talking to her enough? What's going on? But yes, guys, super cool. If you don't come out to the show on the 8th, if we have any way you can share that, guys, it's a Facebook share, I assume, right?
For the show?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. You guys keep squawking. Let me see if I can pull up Joey's show.
Yeah, so, but fuck, man. I'll find that. I'll definitely have to find that graphic novel. It's amongst my comic book bins. Such a dope fucking story. Same thing with the Wolverine versus Ultimate Hulk versus Wolverine. That story is insane. Like Wolverine figures out a way to actually kill Hulk. It's
all right. Let's go. Oh, Nicole, you're so much fun. All right, here we go. Let me go ahead and screen share this, guys. Facebook. And boom, there we go. That is the Hernando Toy and Comic Show returns. Hernando Fairgrounds. Guys, again, this is a dope-ass show. If you have not been, I have not seen so many people in my life. We do a lot of shows, crammed into an area in 4 freaking hours. And there's so much cool stuff to see. We actually got moved out to a second building. So there's going to be people for days, food trucks, like it says on here for Joey, pop culture, video games, figures, comic books, collectibles, toys, you name it, he's got it. And he's very particular. So you're not going to be swimming in Funko Pops and comics. It's going to be toys. He's about toys, and what you're going to see there is toys. So if you're in Hernando, Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsboro, whatever, all those areas, please take the trip. It's worth it, man. Share this to your friends. Come on board. Be a part of the show. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty neat. I think we're both actually going to be in the second building, yellow one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun.
All right, let's get and stop that. So yeah, it's going to be a shit show in the good way. Yes, Alex, you're right, man.
Man, I got the Cat's Lairs ready for that. Got a Metroplex. That's I had to rent a fucking cargo van just for all this shit I'm bringing.
So
who's the guest?
Jimmy Two Fingers, I think is his name.
Alex, who's the wrestling guest? Oh, please don't be Brutus.
Me too.
Oh shit.
Mecha Dome, we love you, buddy. Welcome on board, or lady, dude. I don't know what you guys got going on.
So
you
this
guys
is keep you up at night trying to figure out who Mechadome is.
No, it's like a he, him, she, they, them, thom thing, whatever.
Dude, it's a turtle. That's what it is. It's a turtle.
Yeah, so
Mecha turtle.
Exactly.
He, she, they, them, pork chop, sandwich. I don't know.
Alex, that's helpful.
Appreciate it, man.
In any case, guys,
it's ready to get side. Thanks.
It's going to be an awesome show. We've all been saving up kind of for Joey's show. Excited to do it and unload, and we're going to have a lot of really cool pieces. And unfortunately, Johnny and I are competing for the same big piece, giggity, that hasn't come in yet. I'm wanting to keep one on mine. Johnny's looking to sell his, so we're not on the same page with that, but it's that 4-foot Metro. Did you get a bigger nose ring? No, that's for my penis. And that's how we got canceled. No, I did not, actually. It just looks like...
shit, after everything else you have said previously, that's actually kind of light.
I know. This is the one thing we get digged for. But I can't wait to see the Metro in person. John and I are both waiting for our shipments to come in. I think it's going to be an awesome piece when it does. I do have the Cat's Lair. I am 100% like really in turmoil about selling it because I saw the people opening it.
I got two. I mean, if you want one.
Oh, dude. So you stand to do well. I should have did too because I have no idea where I'm going to put it, but I keep seeing it displayed and it looks really good.
Here's the thing. Metroplex, I really love that figure. I'm really like, man, I would love to keep this. I just don't have the fucking space.
But like,
I wish I did, but this is very like, it's fake. It looks like it's a lot of space, but it's like, that's a whole other room with a bunch of shit. So no, the room is not there as much as it looks like it might be.
Tony's kitchen, he can't even cook in there.
Dude, I wish it was a joke. It's like, I don't know if you guys can see it from here.
You can't.
There's some Robotech, but that's the kitchen. I can't do it. I can't do it, Shellheads. There's nothing in there.
You got the microwave, and that's it.
Bro, and Rebel Girl will eat me alive if I keep bringing stuff, start creeping it into the bedroom, which is happening. I'm running out of room. She's like, we look like a frat house. And I'm like, well, you're only here on the weekend, so it's okay. Whew. All right. I'm sorry. Where are we going? Off the top of my head, Tony, do you have a Mechadome Turtle? I'm going to tell you what, MDT, You message me privately. I will send you something, Shellhead, dude, or girl, or person, because you're fun. We appreciate you coming on board. Nicole, what are you guys trying to get and get your hands on next? Anything in the future you're excited for? Yeah, I guess. So we're excited for, I should say me. I'm excited for this Metroplex. We've talked about it a couple times, but it hasn't come in yet. I've seen a lot of reviews. It's really big. It's really cool. It's very articulated, a lot of detail. I'm excited for what that could mean, and what you could set up as a display, and maybe even make more money because you're going to like be able to show tiny transformers in the hand of this giant, I say combiner, but not combiner, but giant like Titan. So it's going to bring a lot of attention that way. And I'm excited for, truthfully, the Cursed Dead, or Cursed. I don't know if you call it Cursed, Wheezy, or Cursed.
The Cursed Dead, yeah.
So the Cursed Dead, the line we've been plugging, you guys saw in the last like 1 or 2 shows. I'm not excited about much, man. Like, if it's not something I don't already know. And these guys have made me excited about their line, and if only because of the stories and what could possibly come from it. And I've never been a Kickstarter guy, but I'm excited about what they bring to the table and what they could possibly happen. And I hope to God they actually get their Kickstarter, they meet their numbers, and we're getting the product, because the figures are dope. I'd be excited to be part of the line. I'll tell you what, the creators, I'm dying to have them back on the cast, and I know you guys are feeling the same. I'd love to talk to these guys again, good, bad, or indifferent, after the pledge ends. And if only because these guys put a lot of heart and passion and soul into this. They did a great job with the figures. They're advertising as much as they can. They've done what they can do. And if it's not successful after that,
I still don't understand. I don't understand how it can't be successful.
They're at over 81 right now.
Huh? They're at over I was just looking at it. And they announced, they didn't show any pictures, but they actually named one of their stretch goals. The first stretch goal is a new basic figure named the Mangler. Man, I don't understand how some of the things that aren't Kickstarter get funded versus like something that's dope like this that isn't just like blowing up insane. Like I saw one, it was a political toy. It was like 1,000-something% funded. Like it went well over 100%. Like it's insane why people are going after those. They're like 5 POA type figures, like versus something like this that's insanely unique and well done. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. So but I got fingers crossed. They got 3 more days.
You guys were saying, I'm sorry, I couldn't overhear. So they're 81,000?
Yeah.
And we need 120?
No, 175.
175, but Big Bad stepped in already because Big Bad has them on their website for pre-order also. So Big Bad must have put their own order in. Those might not that backing might not show up till the end type of thing.
So that's good though. So Big Bad is a very big supporter of third-party stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I will tell you that I've seen a lot of really cool shit on Big Bad that's third-party that you don't realize until it becomes up, and it's like, oh shit, it's a lot of money. But ultimately, it's really not, because that item is so fucking cool. You would have spent more money on the Kickstarter had you waited for it to come out. But in this regard, I think these guys have a more legit backing. It's not just like the 3 of us, right? Let's say we come up with like a wrestling buddy, and we're like, oh, this is the greatest toy ever, and we throw it out there, and Big Bad picks it up. These guys are all, they're from Hasbro, they're from this or from that. They've got a backing. Yeah, there's a lot involved with their line. And I am not denouncing Grub Sport in any way, shape, or form, so let me put that out there right now. But these guys have done a lot to invest in their brand. And they've been working on it for, what was it, Johnny, like 12 years or 10 years or something?
Yeah, 12 years.
Yeah, so they got some time into it. Johnny's been working on it for 20 minutes, but these guys are 10, 12 years.
20 minutes. Take that 20 minutes up the ass.
So, oh, I'm in. So anyway, so these guys have been working on it for a very long time. So, excuse me, they have their time invested, And so I feel like they really do deserve this shot. And I've not seen anything that tells me they don't deserve this shot. These figures could be good. They could be big. They could be just great in the collector's world. So I'm excited to see them. But
I would hope. I think it would help. Like, they've been doing the rounds, right? They've been doing a lot of different podcasts. We were one of the first. We weren't the first podcast to do it, but we were one of the first in the early stages of them doing it.
Sure.
But I remember they had mentioned that they had other bodies that they had done over the past several years. If you go back on their Instagram, you can see a bunch of different characters and different body types they've done. I feel like they should really maybe try showing that stuff to kind of get people excited even more. Because when I saw the potential, like the werewolf body they did, they have like a big Hulk type body. I was like, yo, this can be even more insane of a line. The different body styles. It's not just like one type of body that's going to go across the field. They got so many different things and characters they've already done. They did their own version of a Krampus, and it looks dope. Like they should be showing those things off too to help.
Did you
light
ever,
that fire?
Tony? Did you ever see the Krampus video?
No, the Crinkle.
The Crankle. I'm sorry.
The Crankle.
Yeah. So I didn't see it, but I thought I saw it shared on a third party.
Hold on. Let me actually share with you guys then.
We're gonna play this thing.
So while you're sharing, just
why not?
Real quick, Alex announced Insane Luchador Super Crazy himself will be joining us 10 a.m. until 30 p.m. March 8th. Get your photos, blah, blah, blah. And that's going to be at Joey's show, which is the Hernando Toy and Comic Show. So
that's dope.
Alex, thank you
for
coming
having
out
super crazy figures though, or merchandise to get signed.
Gus, you're not excited about Gross Work. Gus, I love you, man.
Why are you trying to start problems?
Yes, we're excited. And then
You know what? That's fine. He's not excited, but I don't want to see him ask me for shit about it then. Where's my Gross Sport stuff? I'll be like,
keep it simple. It sells like a McRib. You know what, Mecca? I'm with you, bro. It smells like it sells like a McRib.
Fucking McRibs are horrible.
All right, give me 1 second here. I'm gonna share this video so Tony.
They used to be so good.
For show. Everybody, thank you so much for coming out tonight. We're having a great time.
Oh, it's 2 minutes long. Jesus.
Did you trick your parents to think you were asleep? Did you hide on the couch? Children, make your peace because Crankle making his treat. He'll grab you by your feet. You can't break free. He'll skin you while you beg and scream. He'll hang all your parts from his Christmas tree. It's an awful sight for all to see. So get under your covers and go to bed. You don't want the Crankle to scope your head. He is Santa's biggest fan and does the things that Santa can't. Hide your eyes before he plucks them out. You don't want your parents to hear that awful shout. Beware.
Does anybody think it looks like Doomsday?
Does it?
Yes.
Yeah.
He looks like he just fought Superman and put on a Santa outfit.
Did you stay up late for someone to see while you're not getting Santa?
Cool.
So
I'm Crankle. Before you count to 3, your skin will be hung from my Christmas tree. Close your eyes as tight as you can and be as still as a snowman. If I catch you peeking into the jar, I'm Crankle Claus. Would you like to meet me?
So, for those who didn't watch our episode, the Crankle, the whole idea is that he's an alien, right? He's an extraterrestrial.
Broken ankle, but yeah.
Right, but he was extraterrestrial who just fell in love with the idea of Santa Claus in the story and has adopted his own horrific version.
Which is an awesome story. That shit's amazing. I keep saying it should be short film.
I fucking love it. That thing is exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So-
I had to go back through and I changed my my pledge and everything and updated it a little bit.
Yeah, what happened to you, buddy?
Love you, Mom.
If it was my mom, she'd say the same thing, but she was more upset at the fact that I said I was wearing pants on the podcast. She's like, Anthony, why you gotta tell everybody you're wearing pants? I'm like, Mom, you weren't on the
You're
cast.
not wearing pants?
I know, you want to be like, I'm naked, Mom? What do you want?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know what to say about that one, but
That says a lot about Mecca's taste in women. So that's
oh, I Dios mío. So, all right. So, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, man, I'm excited. I know you guys are excited, man. I hope they get the funding because I want to see these toys produced. I want to see them take off and almost be the next, like, Four Horsemen kind of thing with Mythic Legions and the cool shit that they're doing. Like, I don't even collect any Mythic Legions, but I'm excited about the dragon.
Dragon. This motherfucker looks badass.
It looks awesome. So, yeah, excited for that to come out. What else?
I want the dragon. I can't. I don't have space for the dragon. I really don't.
Yeah, we make room.
I can just add a room. Just build a room to the house and
Dude, I love how on board my wife is about the dragon. She's like, yeah, we'll put it over here in the living room. I'm like,
I was excited that your wife was on board. I'm like, Tammy, can you be on board at my house and tell me where I'm going to put it?
bro, just hang it from the ceiling. You got plenty of ceiling space.
Dude,
actually, that'd be really fucking interesting. Yeah.
I need the Terradrome to move so I can actually set up the cat's lair with the Thunder Tank on my table because I have no other room. My house is a nightmare. Just
So
think
sell
out
the
my life.
Terradome.
Dude, I'm trying. I put it out there. I put it up for sale to trade. Nobody's bit on it, of course, because it's fucking you. Buy a bigger home. You're not wrong, dude. It is gigantic. I can't like. I almost need a tiny home in my backyard just for the Terradrome and all the crap in my house. I don't like to open things, but I'm looking at the Thundercats lair and I'm seeing people open it, and I'm like, that's just a great display piece. I'd love to have it underneath my TV with lights.
You still
With-
have room in the garage. I mean,
Oh my god! I almost want to clear everything underneath my TV and put it over there because it just looks so damn dope. It's got a great ambiance from it, and put some lights and shit and whatever, and like let it be there. But they don't want to do all the crap that's over there.
No.
Absolutely not.
I'll tell you what, Mecha Dome. I'll throw this out to you. If you ever private message me, I will give you a video tour of how disgusting my house is. Not dirty, just disgusting, full of toys.
Although right now my living room is looking insane because there's 2 giant ass cast layers in there, and then there's a couple of totes for the show, and then my office is just completely there's totes everywhere, and this is all for the March show.
She shed. Damn it, Gus.
So
So
no, like to Mecca's question, like mine is just in the man cave. Here behind, there's stuff in the closet and then some stuff in the garage. I have a dog and I don't need my dog destroying stuff. Like I've come home when we first got Nala. Not when we first got her, but it was like our first Christmas with Nala. And I had Ninja Turtle ornaments on the tree. I came home and she had Raphael in her mouth. And she just like dropped them in my hand. Like, here you go. I got this for you. Like, you took it off the fucking tree. So, yeah, no. The collectibles don't hang out with the dog. So is it a wife problem that Tony doesn't have? Is that the problem because Tony doesn't have a wife that he's allowed to do that? Or me and Johnny just, kind of conservative, understand we live with somebody else, so we just kind of keep our things to ourselves.
I'm just saying, if she doesn't respect your collection, she doesn't respect you.
Well,
that's the one thing. My wife has never told me not to, so we're good. And she buys me stuff. So
over here, and it's like full of fucking. It has Godzilla and like Art the Clown shit and Pennywise.
Let's say all I see is Pennywise and a houseplant.
Well, you can't really see it right now.
.com.
She hasn't set it up, but it's got like Godzilla shit, and there's this fucking Art the Clown baby thing.
You got family drama going on in this bitch.
As everybody saw, that's just the back of the room I'm in.
The hell
That's the other room. You guys all saw that.
baby art?
Rear drum.
Yeah, but
That's the room we happen to be in. Over there.
Right now, it's kind of sad because I've taken over this whole office with inventory for the show.
There's a lot in there. There's a lot to show. There's a whole other like 2 rooms full of this crap like this. So when I say my house is a museum, it's not even a joke.
Well, see, if Tony just opened some stuff, he could, get less space.
Yeah, no. My 4th bedroom is completely full of toys that I resell, bunk beds for my stepkids, and then Rebel Girl and I have a closet that is 100%. We cannot fit one more fucking Funko Pop in there. It's closed, solid, all Funkos. That's her fault. She has 1,680 something Funkos.
It sounds like fire kindling.
Oh my God, it's worth over like 35 or 36 grand on the app in Funkos. It's crazy. God bless her. I love that girl to death. She's a Funko queen. Well, she's the pumpkin queen, but yes. She's my queen.
So, what's crazy? I got rid of all those Funkos I had, and then as I'm getting more stuff together for the show, I come across some more boxes of Funkos. I'm like, I can't fucking win with this.
Dude. So I feel like, we said this before, but I feel like Funko, 1623. All right. Yeah, that's fine. I love you, honey. That's great. So I feel like Funkos still have their place, but collectors have to understand at this point, you are collecting for you. You are not collecting for the resale. I think the resale is gone. It's dropping significantly. The hype has gone from Funko. And if you're a collector out there in the world, please tell me if I'm wrong. But it's just what I'm seeing in the resale world, where it's like people are not buying like they used to in that regard. So these Funko retailers or sellers, like even at Jeff shows, he doesn't have as many Funko dealers because they're not moving those Funkos and they're not bringing buyers in. Not like they were about 2 years ago. I think Funkos were a COVID collection. Does that make sense?
But they were big way before COVID, though. Way before COVID.
Sorry. Yes and yes. And then in Soviet Russia, Funko on deal.
Oh,
that's awesome, Mecca. Oh, guys, Truffy's here.
But like Funkos, I think obviously one of the reasons that they were so big was that they have IPs for fucking everything, right? Like they don't have to worry about actor likenesses. So they can get an IP and make every character from that IP if they wanted to. And they went for such a wide range that you could hit every type of collector or every type of fandom that there was. And they were fucking everywhere. So every grandma, grandpa could go out and just buy, everybody. Oh, look, you like Transformers? Look at this Funko. It's like, okay, great. We don't want them.
I get that. Yeah, so Rebel Girl's point, God bless her, I love her. But to her point, she's right. So when I bought Stuart, he's part of our toy group, I bought his collection, his resale collection, right? Whatever he was down getting rid of. And when I bought that set, you're talking about a shit ton of toys, but I got pieces I didn't own. So I got Spirit of Splinter. I didn't own that. I got 2 of those. That was great. I got some other key pieces I didn't own, but he had. So I had those. I kept those for my collection. Case in point, the individual GameStop exclusive turtles. So like, Raph, Leo, Mikey, what all those.
The movie figures?
Yeah, the individual, but they're legits, not the knockoffs.
Right. I got those.
So, yeah, so I got those when I bought the collection from Stuart. And then when everything was said and done, I kept what I wanted. I still had a very substantial and solid collection to sell to other collectors who were looking for those pieces.
Are
And
you
at the
sure
time-
they're not the knockoffs, though?
You what now?
Are you sure they're not the knockoffs?
No, 100%. I know they're not. So
Okay.
when you hold them up to mine, you're like, okay, I get it. But again, I was able to sell the rest to people who were getting into the collecting. This is at the time, not now, but getting into the collecting because that scene was still hot enough to sell those pieces to those people, those collectors. Now you can't. Everything is so saturated or oversold or undersold or what have you. And so when you try to sell those NECA toys, like we talked about before, turtles, especially turtles, it's harder because everybody's got it. And if they don't have it, they're going to jump on Ally to get it. They don't care about it being damaged because they want to open it. There's very few people who are in-box collectors. And so I've catered to a few of those people at shows. So Josh is really great at buying from us. Wheezy, I know you know who it is, but Josh at the last show in Lakeland bought a bunch from us. He had his wife had the baby carriage. Her baby was super small. They bought a bunch from us. Josh was awesome. Him and his wife, very good people. Jerry and his wife, same thing, very good people. They bought from us in Lakeland as well. And then Jerry and I also did interactions off show, just kind of like on the back end. And so great collectors that are very inbox people. And so I was happy to sell them and help them out with a deal that I had already made on my collection that I bought from a fellow collector. I already made my money, so now I could pass on the savings to them and do what I needed to do. But yeah, so to Rebel Girl's point, if you buy a collection, 9 times out of 10, for me at least, I'm buying a collection knowing I want XYZ and I'm going to sell the rest. I really only want it for a few pieces. I'm not just buying to buy to resell. There's something I want in there that caught my eye where it's like, man, I really want that piece and I can sell the rest and make my money. It's not just to buy it for no reason.
Yeah, I've done that. I used to do that a lot with vintage turtles. Buy people's collections of vintage turtles and get the ones I needed to build out my vintage collection, then just sell the rest in lots.
Right, exactly.
Well, for my store, we did a lot of buy, sell, trade. So people brought in their collections, and it was sometimes it's kind of hard too because for people to bring in their collection, they're still emotionally tied to it. They're still emotionally invested in that collection. And a lot of times too, they come in with the expectation of getting top dollar for it. And you have to kind of explain, hey, look, this is the business. I have to still turn around and sell this. So a lot of times I have to kind of, for myself too, like I have to, when I look at some of these collections, I'm like, my God, I would love some of these things. But because it's for the store and the purpose is to turn around and feed the business, I have to stop myself and be like, okay, this isn't for me. Damn, this is cool. But then I have to also keep my cool because I want it. I'm like, fuck, am I about to make this deal that's really not going to be smart business-wise, but I know I'm getting that figure out of it, So for me, I have to do it I have to approach it differently. It's almost very cold and calculated. Like, all right, these are the street numbers of what I'm going to be able to get. If I bring this collection in, and also keep in mind that I have shelf space that I have to have for this and how long it's going to take me to move this. So for me, it's very different. So
to Johnny's point, I'm going to throw this out there, and this is not like some secret thing, right? This is for the most part, reseller out there. When it comes to buying, and this is a very generic broad statement. Tell the man up, seller for pennies. Okay. So when it comes to reselling and buying and reselling, right? So this is just me personally, how I do it. I know it's very similar for a lot of vendors out there. And I say similar, it's not all across the board. We look at things where we're not going to pay you top dollar. If we paid you top dollar, we'd be a collector. Tony doesn't know what that's like. It's always for him. Miss Rebel Girl, I love you very much, but
she's not wrong.
Yeah, she's not.
So when it comes to buying and reselling, right? So we can't buy everything for top dollar because if we do, what are we making any money on? We're not. We'd have to scalp you to try to make any kind of money. We're going to buy something for a percentage less than what that value might be. And we don't know what that value is going to be because it changes all the time. Now, if in my personal experience, doesn't mean it's everybody across the board. It's just me. Don't use this as gospel because I've watched very many resellers do something very differently. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just the way they do it. For me, if it's something I know I'm going to sell tomorrow, right? I know for a fact this is gone tomorrow. I will pay 60% of value depending on the product. Again, depending on the product. That could vary across many, many spans of items. So you have to take it for what it is. Don't take it as gospel. If it's a slow mover, but I know it's still worth something, I'm going to pay you 40% of value. So don't be offended when a reseller tells you, hey, that $100 toy you're trying to sell to me, I'm going to give you $40 for. You're like, it's worth $100. It might be worth $100 to a collector who's going to keep it, but not to that reseller who needs to make money to continue to keep their business going. And you have to understand that as a seller. It's not greedy. It's not anything other than, hey, we're resellers and this is what we do. We love toys. We love you guys. We love to keep everybody in the community keep going and keep giving you what you want. But if we buy a collection, understand that could be the values. That's all I'm saying. I've seen this many, many toys on toy reviews. I think it's a very a clear and fair observation about reselling. And I think it's warranted. I think people need to hear that more than they do.
And we've always tried to work with people. Like, so if you're coming in and you're looking for store credit, you know, I'm willing to actually give you a little more than
it's more. Absolutely. It's more.
So the crazy thing is though, it's very hard for a lot of people to, and I will show them like, hey, look, I'm telling you right now, I'll show them the averages. You know, I will go to, you know, Action Figure 411, all the other places. I'll show them, look, this is what it's kind of going for right now. And based on these numbers, I'm going to go on the lowest of that because I want to move it.
For sure.
So based on that, this is what I'm going to give you. And most folks will see that and they're like, okay, I get it, you know. And, you know, so it's pretty cool as long as you're transparent with everyone. I even show them like, look, this is what I'm looking up. This is what I'm seeing here. That way, you know, if you're looking to ever sell again in the future, you kind of have an idea of what to expect.
So I like to equate that to eBay. So everybody says eBay, right? So they go, oh, this is what this went for on eBay. All right, slow up for a minute. Just so everybody knows how eBay works, okay? The seller fees for eBay are insane. So anything you buy on eBay, understand that person has to compensate for what it costs them to sell the item. So there's already a markup right there on the item just to cover their fees. And then you have to understand that when you sort by sold, that's what sold recently. Doesn't mean that is the end all be all for all the times that item is sold. Look at how many times that item is sold for that amount. Take the average of maybe 5 or 6 items, I guess is a good transparency there. So 5 or 6. What's up?
So a good resource if you're going by what eBay sold, Action Figure 411. So what that does, it already has the sold items averaged out of what they sold for. And it'll show you a timeline from when that figure was released.
Perfect.
What it originally released for and what is it currently going, the average, the highest sold, the lowest sold. So you get a ballpark of what your figure is actually worth currently in the market. That's
perfect. So that's what you want to look at. Don't take eBay as gospel. Unfortunately, people do. And the sad thing is they sit there and go, oh, my figure's worth like $500.
Because some guy has it on eBay for $500, but he's had it on eBay for $500 for 6 years and it's never moved.
Correct. They don't have a realization that like, well, the figure's only worth like $250. That's why that guy's still sitting on it for $500. They don't realize that. There's very few figures or toys or what have you, few and far between, that truly retail for what eBay shows somebody selling it for. So to Johnny's point, yes, use the external websites, get your knowledge, do your homework before you go paying and or asking that ridiculous amount for your figure. I'm going to give you a case in point. It's a little different, though. The figures I've had up for a long time are these certain Christmas figures, which are very, very, very fucking rare, way rare. Had them up for the longest time. I finally had an offer from somebody who said, hey, would you take $200 a piece? I'm asking $350 a piece. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, that's way too low. we finally negotiated. I got $550 for the two of them instead of the $750. That's fine, whatever. They've been set up for a while. But the pieces I sold this person are very particular. Not everybody in the world wants these particular pieces, and they're extremely freaking rare. When I say rare, like way rarer than anything you have in your collection, stupid rare. Where I should have really kept them, but I moved them on. It's fine. Awesome pieces. They bought them. They're happy. I shipped them to them. They're super happy as shit that they got them. They're very big collectors of that particular thing. But to Johnny's point, I posted them with nobody ever has them on eBay. So really whatever I asked is whatever the value was. Because nobody has those listed.
It's really the value is
somebody besides Wheezy. Johnny, go ahead.
Like
sorry.
You thought the value was $750. The value was really $550 because that's what they paid for it. That's the value.
No.
Value is only what it is that somebody's willing to purchase.
No.
And you know what the weird thing is about that though is you can have an item sitting in your shelf for months, years, and then all of a sudden you go to a random show, and then someone sees it and they gotta have it. So it's always about that right person comes in at the right time for it. So it's a matter of how patient are you as well. So a lot of times I'll have stuff and just it's sitting there for years, and then all of a sudden I was like, man, I've been looking for this. I can't believe you have it. And then yep. See, don't fucking touch the tail.
So if you guys don't realize, hey baby, this is Truffles Risotto. This is baby Truffy. But she's not a baby because it's not Raven. Raven is the baby. Truffy is the bitch.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. She's an angry kitty. And if Rubber Girl saw this, she'd be like, that's my Truffy. Truffy. She's a good girl. Anyway.
All right. Good night.
Good night, Maria. Good night, Maria. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
See, if I'm buying stuff from people to resell, I usually offer about half of what I'm going to sell it for.
Okay.
Not necessarily what the value of it is I don't sell things for that. I sell things lower than value to make sure I move them. So if I know I'm going to sell it for 10, I'm going to try and get it for 5. You know what I mean? That's the way I do it.
Yeah, but you never have anything to sell.
Because I sell all my shit.
No, I'm kidding. So I bought, I don't know if you guys can see. Hold on. Oh, well, that's Truffy. Can you see that collection kind of like Titanus? You see that right there?
Yeah, I see tit anus.
Titanus, you guys see that?
Tit anus, yeah, tits and anus. Love those.
So, that's
highlight it again because why not?
So that is part of a Power Ranger collection I bought out of Lakeland, which is actually right by Wheezy, which is about an hour and a half away from me. I bought the collection for a fraction of what I have it listed for because the gentleman needs to move on and so on and so forth. But the individual pieces, you guys laughing at the cat or a Mechadome?
Both.
How much for the cat?
It's still Mechadome. Either way.
This isn't even look at the fat ass down there. That's Harley. That's a whole dog. But
oh shit.
Truffy. She has a lazy eye. Because she's, a little
you gotta work that shit out.
Yeah. Well, it's because she fucks around with baby Raven all the time. Raven fucks her up. So I bought the collection with the understanding that I was going to turn around and make a couple bucks on it. Now, there's pieces I want to keep because they're relevant. Sorry, she's whipping me with her tail. Because they're relevant to my collection. But at the same time, I could do without them. I could sell them, which is Titanus or the the White Tiger Zord, and I think the Thunder Zord. I don't think I have those sealed, so they're great to keep or whatever for my personal collection. But for what I paid for the collection, those key pieces could be sold for way more than the collection was bought for. So the resale is heavy there. And it's a shame, but there is a lot of that, especially on Marketplace. If you search properly, you find the right person, you offer the right amount, more times than not, you will get them to, they need the money. So unfortunately, they'll sell the collection and you can get a very, very nice collection for a very reasonable price. You don't have to overpay. You don't have to like scalp anybody. You just kind of offer them a reasonable price for what it is they're trying to sell, and you can do very well on the back end. How much for the cat? Yeah, that's funny too.
It is.
If you want Truff, you're in for a lot of work.
About $350.
Sale on Loch
I
Ness
gave him $2 once. Woman, you gave him $2 is why I keep coming around. Oh Lord, don't let it get in the roast.
I'm gonna need about $350.
I love South Park. Bring me the victim child. Victim child? I didn't bring no victim child. We gonna ask how you got it. We just hoping you brought one. What's it got to be a White Ranger? Wait,
No,
what?
why is it gotta be Go White Ranger Go?
Why is that not worthy of a theme song? There are plenty of themes. There are plenty of memes explaining that. They just don't work. All right, that's it. It's too much. All right, anybody? Whew, it got tight in here. All right, guys. So getting down to the wire.
We're at the hour and 20-minute mark.
Getting down to that hour. So I want to talk about this Metroplex that kind of rehashed that Johnny and I both ordered, that we are into the 28th day of January and still have not received even one piece of it. And I know for a fact that MegaCon coming up, Will has asked me for his because he's trying to buy mine, like, one of mine to take to the show. And he goes, dude, did it come in yet? I'm like, no.
Mine's already on the boat.
Well, mine too, but the boat ain't here. So, and we only have like one piece. I don't think it's like all the pieces, if I'm not mistaken, right? Isn't it
No,
four
mine's
different?
all the pieces. It's already through customs.
Oh, so all to make the 2 or 3 you got?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to clear customs to come in.
Oh. Well, then,
Are you tracking it through the website?
well, mine's Bombospi or whatever. What's yours?
Same.
Oh, I thought it was TF Source for some reason.
No. TF Source's prices are jacked up, man. You don't want to shop there.
Gus, what do you think of Topps doing one cards? I don't know what that means.
So Topps does cards, like trading cards. So
Okay.
like they're doing one cards. So it's one card. There's no way to ever get it again. So just a one of one.
Okay, so all right, so what is that relevance to what Nicole's saying?
No, she's saying that going through and looking at the values, they used to give the highest value versus I think Johnny's saying he goes by the lowest purchase value.
Wait, Nicole, are you talking about Pops?
Because I want to remain competitive when I turn around to sell it. So that's what I'm going to go by, the lowest selling value.
That's where I think the conversation was.
Oh,
But she disappeared and all of a sudden randomly popped up with old conversation. So I don't know.
okay, never mind. You're right. Okay, sorry.
Try to be. Shit. Oh, cool. What else you got, Tony? What else you got?
I got nothing, man. You trying to button us up because we're at that hour?
No, I don't care. You saw that there was that information that came out with Hasbro, trying to stop making a bunch of toys.
No. So the only thing I saw, so talk about it, man. The last thing I saw was Johnny shared about Ultra Magnus being available again from Studio 86, which I had and I sold, which I thought about ordering a couple more just because of, some of the banter with Johnny. But no, man. What are you talking about?
No, so over the past few years, Hasbro has mentioned a few different times that they're looking to kind of change gears and get away from toys and go and focus on video games in a digital realm. And for whatever reason, it's popped up recently, and people are like now running with it, freaking out about Hasbro not making toys anymore. When what it is that like all the different lines they have under one franchise, how they're like a lot of them are fucking shell forming. All the kids' toys, a lot of it's shell forming. So now they're kind of limiting what they're making on that end, which is like one of the reasons why they stopped doing Power Rangers and they just license it out to Playmates instead to have them do it.
But it's still a residual, right? So if they, I'm going to cut you off, but if they go ahead and do Playmates, right? If Hasbro says, fuck it, we're going to sell this off to Playmates or let them do the line, there's still a residual kickback. So Playmates might be producing it, but they're
Hasbro still gets paid.
Right. They're going to pay back Hasbro. They're not giving up the line. They're just going to get the monies from what Playmates
Hasbro owns the licensing to it, but they're going to license it out to Playmates. Because a buddy of mine sent me a video today. People are starting to talk about it again. And it was one of those clickbait videos. He's like, oh, Hasbro's not making toys anymore. But then when you're actually watching, he's like, yeah, they're going to stop making this, this, and this, but they're still making Black Series. Like they're still going to make the collector side because they're selling well. It's the kids' toys that they're kind of starting to wide or like to like kind of dwindle out because they're just not selling as much anymore.
I can't. Oh God, that Black Series, man. Like not for anything. They're cool figures, but they shove for them like a mofo, and then they end up at freaking Ollie's. Gus, what you got? Hasbro just canceled their Transformers game. Like they're Gus, you mean talking about like a card game?
No, they're trying to. I think they're trying to do a video game for Transformers. Oh. Hasbro was really trying to get into the video game market because they think that that's the way it's going to go, especially with the younger generations. Like that's what kids love. Digital. It's all about video games. Video games. They don't care about the toys, man. But also in the same video, the guy did mention, he's like, that's also why you're seeing, in the toy aisles, you're seeing Ninja Turtles, Star Wars, Transformers, Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters, all these 30-plus-year-old franchises. Like they're not being like those aren't being made for kids. So those are all being, targeted at us because, we're stupid and have disposable income. That's it.
I feel like you guys are waiting on me because we're live and you want me to kill it.
No, I'm looking to see if anybody said anything, but it's just Gustavo talking about the video game.
All right, so dry here, so good.
No, I was going to say we were talking about earlier before the cast about the whole with NECA, with the whole customer service thing I was telling you guys about.
Yeah, your order that hasn't come in, but you're doing all kinds of things to make it come in.
Because I hadn't gotten my order yet, and I gotten tired of emailing their customer service, even though the guy, whoever runs their customer service email, has been responding. The past week, it went silent. So I'm like, I just need answers. So I called them, and I got an answer from them. I think I told you guys that last week. You should be here soon. Well, it's showing up tomorrow, right? So I don't know if they sent it that day because I called or if it just happened to coincidentally be at the same time. But that'll show up tomorrow. But then with my the mystery box that I had, I bought the horror and the sci-fi. And in the horror one, 2 of the figures came broken and missing the broken pieces, which kind of shows that it was a returned item from, say, Target that was returned and sent back to NECA, and then they sent it out to me. But when I called their customer service, I explained to them what happened. They're like, oh, let's see here. They like brought up, I guess, the emails. Oh, we see your emails here. We see the pictures you supplied. Okay, cool. We can't send you 2 replacement products because we can't guarantee we have those products and this and that. I'm like, all right, like, yeah, but we'll give you a partial refund. So they refunded me partially on my purchase. So I'm like, it's a win for me. But like calling them, I got instant answer, got it taken care of, done. Like, I don't know who runs their fucking email system for customer service and why they respond at 2 a.m. I'm pretty sure it's overseas, but calling them really seems to work well. Kind of get all the answers you need and everything is taken care of.
That's good, man. Yeah, shit, man. That's kind of similar to a lot of things we used to see in some of the NECA groups and turtle groups like we saw over time. As far as customer service oriented, like getting a hold of people was you had to call them directly, man. You can get anywhere via email. They just don't respond. My same as well. Like I emailed when I didn't get my Soto figures and they said they were delivered. That was the only thing that got me. I don't care if it's delayed. I'll wait. But I got a notification that said, hey, your figures were delivered. You got both of them. I'm like, well, no, I didn't. I only got one. And I kept emailing, nobody responded. And the final one, I said, oh, do I need to go to an attorney? So, like, all of a sudden, I got an email like, oh, it's fine. It's coming. It's going to be here this day. I'm like, why do I have to be that way? Just tell me what's going on with my order. I'll leave you alone. I'm not going to keep emailing you, but the customer service was just fucking terrible.
I think that, because, you know, as you probably know from your end in your profession,
for sure,
is that when a customer service email is like, they have like triggers. So their customer service rep was probably just giving you the smoke and bullshit, right?
Yep.
But then as soon as you said attorney, that was one of the triggers, and it got sent to somebody else who's like, oh shit, let's take care of this real quick. And then boom, done.
So that happens with my professional. Like if they turn around and they send in a complaint with a store and they use a certain word, that's what tells them to trigger it and send it either directly to me or to my legal department or something like that, right? Certain word they say just puts it in the right direction.
Right.
Which, I mean, ultimately it should. But again, customer service for NECA, when you actually get somebody, it's not terrible. It's just getting to that point, unfortunately. But let's see what I got here. One more thing. We'll kind of like tie this up. Kids aren't collecting toys anymore. It's sad. You know what? You're not wrong. My son Damien was hardcore Turtles till he turned about 9 or 10. And he was like, Daddy, I'm okay if you sell these now. He wanted to take them down. I get it. It's whatever. He was excited to collect what Daddy was collecting. So I can't fault him for that. He was 9 or 10. I mean, what are you going to tell him to do? Don't do that. At least he enjoyed it and he did the right thing. He didn't open them. God bless him. So big deal there. And then Nicole, again, the most you see at these shows are older people. All the kids want digital stuff. So they did post something. I don't know where. I guess it's like common knowledge, I guess. But the collectors, the Gen Xers, are collecting their childhood again. So most of the collectors and the buyers in toy stores aren't even kids anymore. They're buying toys for themselves. And so kids are like 30% of the purchases and adults are 70% of the purchases. So to your point, Nicole, collectors are buying back their childhood. I don't know how old you are. Please don't tell me. But I'm going to tell you that I'm going to be 44. And the things that I am collecting are things that I had as a kid. Or there might be variances and changes on. But there's still things that I associate as figures and toys and things that I had as I was a kid. And it's not because of nostalgia where I have to have it because I was a kid. It's more along the lines of I still love that. I want to own that. I don't own it anymore because as a kid, you grow up, things change, your parents give and sell things away, and so you lose those items. But now being an adult, I can repurchase those things that I loved and had them. So I think that's the difference. It's not because you're trying to be a child and regain your childhood. It's not. You appreciate those toys. You appreciate what you had. You want to recoup that and own that again, and that's where the buyer's market is coming from, in my opinion. But Johnny?
I mean, it's crazy, yeah, because I seen it too, like the customers that come into my store, they're all adults. Every now and then you do get some with kids, but for the most part, kids today they're really not into toys like that. Like like
Right. Yeah.
So and it's weird the things that are like blind boxes though will sell to kids.
Kids love that shit. So Damien, Damien and Sugar Drizzle, Gianna, they love blind boxes. They love like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna get. I'm like, and then when they get these blind boxes, I'm like, it's the same character I could have bought you 15 years ago, not blind boxed, but you're excited because he's in a blind box because you don't know what you're getting.
It's gambling for kids. Just makes them addicts at an early age.
Yeah, it's crack. I don't know. Anyway, what else we got, guys? What else, Shellheads? You guys have been awesome tonight. Nicole, thank you. You keep interjecting. Is there anybody else? If not, we're going to call this and call it a night. Say thank you all for coming out. We love you guys. We will shamelessly plug, if nothing else, Grub Sport. And you got to know that, listen, J5 Toys has free shipping. If you don't know that, what the hell's wrong with you?
Well, actually,
just to answer, because I don't know if he's still here, if Mechadome's still in here, but he asked when's the meet and greet. That would be at the March show, right? Like,
Mecha, you want a meet and greet? I told you already. PM me. I will work something out. You want merch? PM me. Because you've been faithful. If you really are from out west, we got you. We're going to take care of you. You let us know. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Let me share something here. I did something for Joe here. Did a little kind of like ad for the March 8th show, and I was just putting some stuff up that we're going to have there for sale. Yeah. Let's see here. This bullshit here. Let's go.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So March 8th, guys, come out there. We're going to have plenty of stuff.
I think I'm going to watch Batman tonight before I go to bed.
Shit, I'm about to go hop a shower and pass the fuck out now. I got to be up at 5.
I got to be up at 4:30.
Yeah, I have to be up at 6, but whatever. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming out. We had a great time tonight. Wheezy, Johnny, as always, love you guys. I know you love being here. We had a great time, I think, with our people coming up here and chatting with us. We appreciate you guys. Always helps keep the banter going. Listen, we're plugging for Joey's show. Joey, if you don't hear us, man, I don't know why, but we hope you're going to be like, we hope the show is a success. We know it will be based on the last one. We wish you were on. We hope you hear it. We'll go from there. I know Weezy's doing a great job of plugging everything he can via the podcast. We love doing it live, if only because we love getting the interaction from the crowd. Other than that, finally a longer show. Really? Dude, the longer the show goes, the more off rails. If you guys don't interject, we can't do a longer show. Seems like Weezy likes to mess with Tony, and I approve. Yeah, that's the story of my life. I love my Weezy, man. That's all I'm saying. I love my Weezy. Again, as we said, guys, thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate you all. We'd love you to come out more often. I wish we had more interaction, but this was one of those like impromptu rando casts. We're just hoping to get everybody on and talk about what the hell ever. I kind of wish we would have like spent a little more time talking about 2025 and what we expect to come out of it. I know we kind of touched on it last show, but really 2025 could be big, right? For a lot of different reasons. So we're talking about possibly really?
Let's not put it past Tony to beat a dead horse.
We're talking about possibly doing venues, opening up shops, opening up large venues. We don't know. There's a lot of things we're talking about, a lot of possibilities coming on the horizon. But in any case, thank you guys so much for coming out. I'm not going to talk about all of our external links. Shellhead Toys, we have the fourth wall. We have product available. And fuck it. As always, listen, bitches. Nut caps! I thought that was good.